So my name is Dave Mason. I'm one of the owners of I Found Agent. In part of my other life outside of business, I teach yoga and have been practicing yoga for many years. One of the things we've always talked about is exactly dealing with disruptive and uncertain times. Did I ever think I would be merging a business and I'll call it a yoga conversation together? No, and I don't think anybody ever really planned on a pandemic for 2020. I talk to a lot of real estate agents, not just agents, but this is really a conversation about our humanity and what people are going through. And really, I've seen people be in two different places. So either we can crawl up into a ball, or can take our power, sometimes take the fear with us, rather than be stopped by it. For myself, the first week of being at home was different because our routines changed. I had a very specific routine that I was accustomed to. I wasn't even conscious of it, what I would do every day. And then all of a sudden, just like that stops and we have to create a new one. So that can be very disruptive, just that, because we are creatures of habit. Just real quick, my background, I was a real estate agent for close to 14 years. And way back in late 80s, early 90s, we did not have any technology. I made my own. I went from floundering to 25. I was in the top 10% at Realty Executives. So, I know the value of getting organized from somebody that has been at times in my life very unorganized. But the first thing I really wanted to deal with is this thing called uncertainty. So I'm going to read this, and if you have a piece of paper and if you have any insights that you might want to write down for yourself just on where you're at I'm just going to call it the new paradigm, because life changed just like that. Just how we do everything has shifted. So I invite you to consider that any upheaval or paradigm shift always results in uncertainty. The old rules, assumptions, beliefs, constructs no longer apply. And it is only in uncertainty that real possibility can arise and be brought forth. Now, uncertainty is scary. That is why most human beings and companies and industries and society as a whole designs itself to avoid uncertainty, right? So as long as I've been in the real estate industry since 1988, I've noticed one thing: things keep changing. Just, my own real estate career, I started during the the RTC, and then we had 2008, and now we're dealing with this. We had the dot-com bubble in 2000, and out of those, new things emerged. So this is really a time to put our creativity hat on, start to think differently, because we can try the same old things and they may work and they may not. Try doing an open house right now, see what's going to happen, versus perhaps doing something virtual. Just hang on to that here while we have this dialogue today. And I promise my goal for this conversation is that you get some new freedom and some new power out of this dialogue that we're going to have today. So this is not the typical, yes, this is a business conversation, but it's not a business conversation necessarily. Now, you can bring your business to this conversation. You can bring your life to this conversation. My goal is that you leave with more freedom and more power. So the world will definitely be different as a result. How? I have no idea. I know as a company, I Found Agent, we've already rethought how we're doing things, how we're implementing video into the platform, and the ability for agents to use video more powerfully and easily. And really, we want to look for some ground to stand on. I know my own experience mid-March, when all pandemic really started becoming more of a thing. I just felt like I was kind of on the side. I was over here on the side of this mountain here, kind of rolling around. I wasn't quite sure where I was going to stand. And I had to create that for myself, that, my stand is that people have some peace in their life while this is going on. Is that a fantasy? I don't know. I've had to work on that for myself. I've had times where I have been peaceful, and I've had times where I've had my anxiety go much higher than it than it's been. Anybody have their anxiety go up a little bit higher, more so than the, okay. So it's not just me. I think it's a human, it's a very human thing. And I think we need to give ourselves a lot of room to experience our own humanity, because I think trying to suppress that is only going to create, it only creates more fear, more anxiety. Now, the reality is, actually this slide could have come somewhere else, but life has actually always been uncertain. I think it's a wake up call for all of us that we've been asleep to it. We just assume when we take our car out of the garage, we're just going to magically appear at our destination. And it's not a done deal. I'm pretty sure my car's in the garage. I haven't looked this morning. It could be gone. Somebody could have stolen it in the middle of the night. But I live like my car is in the garage. I don't know that that's true or not. And there's a myth that I hear a lot. My life will be better when COVID-19 is over. My life will be better when I get this. My life will be better, when I get the Corvette. All of those things, they're not true. We make them up. It's all, the little noisemaker in our head isn't always a cheerleader. It's designed to keep us safe, not unlike animals. Animals are designed to survive, and we are too. So our brain will try to trick us. And if you're feeling anxious, unsettled, I'm going to suggest a radical concept. I'm going to call it radical acceptance. And the sooner that we can be comfortable being uncomfortable, the better your life, your experience of yourself will be. How do I know that? Because I've tried it for myself. I practice it all the time. I was out for a walk this morning, and my mind will start to race, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm resisting this. The more that I resist, the more anxiety, the more fear, and the more upset I will experience for myself. Does that make sense? You could even be resisting this webinar right now. When's he going to move on? All of that stuff. We do that. We could say, stop resisting what's so. And I accept the things that I cannot change. I can't change COVID-19, but I can change how I respond to it. I can change who I get to be with these circumstances. I didn't choose these circumstances. I didn't vote for it. I had no choice in the matter, but I have a choice in the matter about how I can be about it. Right? Okay. And right now, it would be a great idea. This is just my opinion. I have been contacted by no news organizations for my opinion on anything that's happening in the real estate market. So you'll hear this here first. But I believe that it's a great idea to shift from a sales to a service mindset. Now, what do I mean by a service mindset? You could also, I would call that consultative. So when you're being consultative, you're actually providing a service. We've got a lot of uncertainty in the stock market. There's a lot of uncertainty in the real estate market. I just had a conversation with an appraiser, a very well-known appraiser in town, 30 years. And I went to school with him. I've known him very well. I call him from time to time. I was curious what's going on in the market. Well, it's supply and demand. Prices are adjusting. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It's what's so. So it's something that we need to apprise our sellers of. They may be getting less showings right now, probably. It doesn't mean that activity's stopping. I've had conversations with other title officers, and they're doing transactions. The business is not stopping. It's just being done a different way. So does everybody get the shift from sales to service? I think we all know what sales means. The service mindset is really one that makes a difference with people, and is a heartfelt conversation over trying to get something or trying to get somebody to do something, which is sort of the stereotype, which